There we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 7 of Drop the Clutch. My name is Ruth, and I've got two people with me here today, Dan and Nick. Do you guys want to introduce yourself to the viewers/listeners?
Go on, Mr. Scorpion, you go first.
Oh, thanks. I'm Dan. I've been into Speedway now for far too long. Commentator on Scorpions TV, so check it out. Buy the stream so I can get a wage. And just a regular Speedway goer and very controversial person, really.
Yeah, and I'm Nick. Speedway fan for the last 6-7 years. Live near Bellevue, so that's my local team. That's about it, really.
Okay, bit more on me. Well, been going to Birmingham now for nearly 16 years since they reopened in 2007. Been a couple rough seasons, but we keep going. Hopefully this season's a bit better. Right.
So, where are we starting then?
Let's start. How do we think our teams will get on in their respective leagues this season?
I reckon aces for the playoffs.
Any riders in particular to look out for?
Obviously, you got the Rocket Man, Mr. Dan Bewley, goes without saying. But I think Norrit Bloodhorn and Tom Brennan are going to have absolutely phenomenal seasons this year. Because they both got better race by race last year. So I'd just say watch out for them too, to be honest. The others in the team are pretty much proven Speedway riders at almost international level for some, international level for others. You know, the likes of Kurtz. He's always been just on that cusp, hasn't he?
True. Dan, what about you and Scunthorpe?
For Scunthorpe, yeah?
Yeah.
It should definitely reach the playoffs. Whether it makes it all the way to the final or not, obviously it all depends on injuries and that, but I can't see why we can't make the playoffs at a minimum, really.
It's always something to aim for.
Yeah, that's my thing with Bellevue. Even if we get to the semi-finals, I'll be more than happy.
Honestly, if I'm talking about Birmingham, it would just be nice not to finish bottom for once. You know, we've got a pretty good team with the 6 riders we've got so far. I think James Pearson will do. Yeah, I say James Pearson will get better as the season goes on. He's just finished his first multi-round Aussie Championship, and he did fairly well down there. I think he finished 11th overall, which against some of the big Aussie names, that's not bad.
Yeah, when you've got the likes of Frick, Doyley, Kurtz, Holder riding, you know, that's not bad at all, is it?
And to be fair, like this morning I watched that Darcy Ward Invitational meeting thing, and he pulled off some right scoops. He come close to beating Ty Woffenden, who ended up winning the meeting. So if he could keep that form up over here, then he can easily add a couple of points to his average.
Yeah.
What is it?
Sorry, if he's pushing Woofy in the final, then there's no reason why he can't.
Won the final.
not quite.
Oh, that's what I thought he said then. Sorry.
No, it's just one of the qualifying races. If I remember right, he was nowhere near the likes of Dougie in that, but somehow Woofy Woofy was just cruising doing him. I don't know if he was like slowing up or something, but Pearson was proper close off his arsehole.
Right, fair.
Maybe he's into that stuff.
Gating. Yeah. James Pearson has got mad gating skills. He just needs to be able to keep up the speed, and if he's in first, he just needs to be able to stay first a bit more, I think.
I mean, I think if I remember, me and you, we witnessed James Pearson's first heat win over here. If I remember right, that happened at Scunny.
It did, yeah.
I thought it did.
He made a really good trap, and he held off Zane Kennedy.
But I remember me and Spets were just there. Obviously, we're talking about it on comms. Obviously, like, because we have to have certain camera angles, and we was like more focused on second and third, and we'd kind of just forgotten that James had gone off into the front until we switched cameras, and we're like, oh, and at the front is James Pearson, and who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Was it one of them where first just clears off and the battles between second and third?
Yeah, he'd literally made a cracking trap, and he'd literally just gone. I think, like, towards the end of the race, I think it must have been Zane Kennedy that was catching up and, like, putting quite a bit of pressure on it. But James managed to hold on, and it was a very good race to watch.
Might have to rewatch that in a bit.
Hopefully some more of the same from him. Although towards the end of the season at Perry Barry was doing he was doing really well. So hopefully he can build on that and what he's done down in Aussie over the winter. But yeah, he's definitely my one to watch, I think, for Birmingham this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I must say Norwich's the one to watch for Bellevue this year.
I think for Scunny, I think we've signed the most underrated rider in British Speedway, and that's why he's my one to watch in Connor Mountain.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely a good rider with Sheffield last year.
Mountain and Bailey, I think, are just ones to watch this season, full stop.
Definitely.
Doesn't matter what league you follow, them two are going to set things ablaze, aren't they?
Well, changing the subject a bit, but it's the World Cup. The World Cup's coming back this year, isn't it? So, who do you think Team GB will line up with? I think I've got a pretty solid lineup from what I've info I've garnered over last season. So we've got Tyrell Findon, obviously.
How does the World Cup work? Is it a full team?
Yeah, it's 5. Is it 5 riders, 4 seniors, and an under 21? If I remember correctly.
The same.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's a 5-rider team, 4 seniors and an under 21. Right. So I've got Ty Woffingen, Dan Bewley, Robert Lambert, Tom Brennan as the 4th senior because he's not under 21 anymore, and then Leon Flint as the under 21.
I'd say that's pretty much nailed in, personally.
I'd agree with 3 of them. I think you'll definitely see Dan, the Shite Lambert, and Tom Brennan in there. I don't know. I've just got some feeling that, like, when it comes to rating for Team GB, I don't know why. I've just got this feeling that Wolfie's going to jack it in, like the riding capacity. I could see him in another capacity, just not a riding capacity, like to give another youngster or another up and comer a chance. Like big sexy side, get him in Team GB. I'm all for that. And yeah, I don't know. Get Emil Safutinov in on dual nationality if the rumours are true.
Yeah.
Martin Fabuli and all.
I'm going to do it for the Shite Lambert. The only country in the world that's shit like that.
No, but I see what you're saying. But I think Ty wants to win the World Cup. He's got the Speedway Nations medal. In his eyes, he's only got half a medal because he didn't actually ride it. But I think he wants the big one, and then he'll go out after that, personally.
Last couple of seasons... Oh, sorry.
Isn't it at Ty's home track in Poland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Dan Bewley's as well. I think.
I think.
Dan Bewley's as well. Yeah. 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 Dan Bewl So that'll be an advantage. And Robert Lambert rides Wroclaw well, as you've seen, because he won Ty Woffington's testimonial there, didn't he, last
So
season?
we've got a chance of coming second. Get in.
Yeah. It'll be hard to beat their poles on their own turf.
I don't know though.
It's
It
not a
depends
team
who they've got in
riding
the team.
competition like the Speedway Nations. The World Cup is literally one rider from the teams in each race. So it's not sort of a team riding thing like the Sun is.
Right.
So Zmarzlik will excel in this because he is not a team rider.
And you got Janowski, that's his home track as well, so he's going to fly around that.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that the Poles, they can go to any track in their own country and they can just practice day in, day out, whenever. You know, I mean, if they wanted to take the family out on Christmas Day, you guarantee they'll be at bloody Torren or somewhere practicing.
Yeah.
Or licking laps around the tracks just because they can.
Yeah.
I still think Wroclaw is a bit of it's definitely a leveler when it comes to the other countries because like there's quite a few riders that like have never seen it before and things like that. But
yeah,
I still think we've got a pretty decent chance.
Out of the GB5, there's 4 that have ridden that track many a time before.
This is very true.
Because Tom Brennan would have rode it, because Wroclaw have got a team in all levels of the Polish thing, haven't they?
I think so. I think they've got an under-24 team, but
they have because is it Conor Bailey's just signed for them?
Yeah, I don't think they ride against the under-24 leagues in the lower Polish divisions, though. I think that's just a standalone league.
Mm-hmm. It's a good thing to have, though.
But they'll have that'll be their home track also, won't it? That's what I mean. So,
yeah.
You know, like Tom Brennan, when he was at his old team, would have ridden there in the past anyway. Lambert would have ridden there many a times because he rides in Poland as well. So you've got Ty, Dan, Lambert, and Tom that will have all ridden that track.
I don't ride, mate.
Me
Not very funny.
Not anymore. I've called it a career.
But
You'll be here all week, people.
There's going to be at least 4 Brits, if that is the team that will have ridden that track at some point or another.
True.
And probably same for most other countries as well. Because all the GP stars ride in Poland, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to not put a GP rider in your national squad, are you, really? Come on.
This is true.
British Speedway, though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose there is that also.
Expectations, Dan Bewley, Robert Lambert and Ty Woffington. Reality, Joe Thompson, Jordan Jenkins, and I don't know, some, let's say James Wright is the first person on my head.
Yeah, or Charles Wright. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying though. You think the big 3.
You think the big 3, but never expect the expected with British Speedway.
No, I totally get that.
It's how they end up running into November every year.
Yes.
Even then, they still like to sack certain races off to postpone until this year because they couldn't fit them in.
Jubilee Trophy.
You know, you get certain clubs, season will finish middle of August, and then boom, you wake up. Oh yeah, we're running the playoff final at the 5th of November.
Yeah,
and then there's the riders just like, seriously, I've had so many months off the bike and really rusty, and you want to run a playoff final then?
Yeah.
Who was it that finished like all their races by mid-August?
Leicester.
We did as well, but then again, we finished bottom and we didn't make the playoffs, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
But yeah, Leicester had finished everything by mid-August, hadn't they? And had to wait till like October to ride in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose this year the way they've done the fixtures is all the league fixtures, and especially in like the top two leagues, they should be done by like end of August.
End of August, mid-September, isn't it? From what I've read.
Hopefully, you know, they can get the hooking heads together and be like, right, it's the end of August now. September's when we're starting the playoffs. No ifs, no buts, no coconuts. If you're a shit team, you're a shit team. And if you're in the playoffs, you're in the playoffs. And you need to start but you need to make the playoffs a bit of a priority come September.
Yeah.
I agree. The cup finals can wait.
Playoffs need to be squared away by the end of September. Because it's a joke running them in November.
Yeah.
You're not getting the crowds, for one, even though it's televised, but you're not getting bums on the seats. Because who wants to sit there for 3 hours shivering?
Me.
I do that at my winter sport anyway, week in, week out. So I suppose, you get
what I mean, though. But that's the thing, though. You said at your winter sport, not at your summer sport. You don't want to be going to summer sport to sit there in November.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, I get your point now, yeah.
But here's a question for you,
both. Commentator and so on.
Here's a question for you both. What is a bigger joke in Speedway, right? Having a playoff final in November with all the league meetings completed, or been like my other team, my blue and yellow heart and soul and pride, running a league meeting about 3 weeks after the league has already been run and won.
Yeah, the second one.
Yeah, I think running league meetings after the playoff final is an absolute joke. Why would you even contemplate that?
Because the fixtures have to be finished or they'll get fined.
That's what I think.
It's like, why would you do it that way? Why not cram them fixtures in and then do the playoffs?
What incentivise clubs to run in the summer when it's warm? Because look at last year, we had one of the warmest summers on record, and yet we were still racing in November.
Yeah, what was it? There was a gap of like 4 weeks between mid-July and mid-August where nobody rode in the Premier League.
Exactly.
I get, obviously, Sheffield's ran by the dogs, and they had to do the dog, like the refurbishment and that, and they had to do all that. So I wholeheartedly get that. But like, you look at Sheffield's list, and you have the first meeting, then you have 2 weeks, and then it's another meeting, and then 2 weeks. Surely you can use one of them 3 weeks to put in a league meeting. That's probably going to determine where you finish at the end.
Bash them out every week over the summer, because that way, unless there's a rain off, which is when you really can't stage a meeting unless you want to stage it on a lake, that should be the only reason, unless it's like an emergency or something, that a meeting should be called off.
If you were running every single week, though, you'd be finished in June.
Yeah.
Yeah, admittedly, have like a week break here and a week break there, but there's no need for a 3 to 4 week break.
And it's like, I looked at the Scunny fixtures the other day, and it's like we're riding 2 Fridays every month. We've got one like reserved if we progress in the cup or in the BSN series or whatever. But the last Friday of the month, we've got it so we're like away at another Friday track.
Yeah.
I think that's the sensible way to go about it. But
I think we've done the same at Birmingham, because there's both Oxford and Poole that run on a Wednesday as well, isn't there?
Yeah, because I had a look at the Bellevue fixtures the other day, and it looks like we're home or away every Monday or Thursday throughout the season.
That's a good thing.
Question for you, Nicholas.
Yes, Daniel.
Because my one of my mates is at one of the Manchester unis and that, and is a bit of a Sheffield fan like me. And he did tell me the day, but I can't remember it for the fucking life of me. When's the first Bellevue Sheffield meeting? Because I'm going to try and get down to that.
There's one on the 27th, I believe it is. which is a Monday night. I think you come to either
You come to
No,
us on the 23rd.
yes, and then the one at Bellevue is the 27th.
Sweet.
It's the following Monday.
From the
We
Peter
race you
Craven
home and away.
Memorial.
Yeah, the Peter Craven's on the 20th, and then the first official home league meeting of the season is the Monday after that, so the 27th.
Sweet. Try and get down to that.
I'll send you because I've screenshotted the Bellevue fixtures. I'll send you the link after the screenshot after the recording.
You're a sexy man, thank you.
No worries, because obviously we raced Sheffield a few times, don't we? So,
Well, yeah. And the way things are looking at the minute, I won't be surprised if that's the outcome in the final again.
These two
We'll have to
definite
see.
league match teams.
Yeah, I say we'll have to see, because you never know, do you? Because look at Wolverhampton a few years ago. They were there or thereabouts and then went off to the final, didn't they?
I think it's going to be a hard season for them this year because they haven't looked at any new riders, really.
I tell you who to watch out for, though. Them bloody lunatics from the Midlands that have just joined the Premiership, the Leicester Lions.
Leicester,
Yeah.
They've got a few good riders.
I'm telling you, Leicester's going to have the best reserve in the league in Jake Allen.
They've got a phenomenal number one as well, if you ask me.
To be fair, they've probably got, I hate saying nice things about Leicester, so record this and put it like on social media. I can say nice shit about them. They've probably got the best top four in the league.
They've got pretty good top four. Is it Max
very...
Chris Harris, Richard Lawson, and Nick Morris?
That's the ones.
That is
I mean,
mental.
their number one and two are unreal. Bomber can ride any track.
I mean, that's got to be dominant, especially around Leicester.
It's going to be dominant.
It might take Bomber a couple of weeks to get used to Leicester, because when he rode with Birmingham, not last season, but 2021, he rather struggled. So I think that's maybe why he's made the move to Leicester to learn to ride the track better.
Yeah, but their one and two are going to fly around the National Speedway Stadium because Max Frick loves that place and Bomber likes to ride the fences.
He does.
Bad joke, I know, but yeah.
Although there's a couple of riders on the Bellevue team that like riding the fence. Charles Wright.
No, he rides the boards, not the fence. And then you got Bewley that will just ride on top of the bloody air fence if given half a chance, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He does that anyway, don't he?
It seems like it. The way that kid goes around that track, it seems like it.
I tell you what, I'm looking forward to the release of the NDL fixtures so I can try and get up to Workington.
Yes, I'm
because their new track looks really good.
I probably won't be able to get up to Workington because I'll most likely be working on the nights they're riding. But, yeah.
It looks like a good track.
It does, to be fair. I think I could be wrong here, but it's like a mashup of Bellevue and Redcar put together.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. They were going for something like size-wise, super duper wide and whatever, like Bellevue, and then Redcar as well.
I mean,
Redcar's got good banking, so that's going to be a good track.
I mean, if you're basing a track around Redcar, you're doing something right because, I mean, my opinion, Redcar's the best track in the country, absolutely. So if you're doing something on that basis, then you're going to be onto a good product.
I agree. I've never actually seen a bad meeting at Redcar whenever I've been. As much as I don't like a few of their fans, I've never actually seen a bad meeting at that track.
That's the thing. Like, forget the fans. You're there for the riding, not the people.
Yeah.
To be fair, each time since post-COVID, I've been But then again, we always like stand in the same spot, so you get to sort of know the people. And the people that we tend to stand with are normally quite sound. You can have a bit of a laugh and banter and that with them. But as you say, you do get the odd one or two. I mean, we went there in 2019, and we won. Shock. And me and my mates that went, we got told to die in a car crash on the way home because there was a little bit sore losing.
What?
It probably didn't. It probably didn't help the red car cause that they had to have a National Development League reserve as their number one for the night. But you've got to take advantage of what's in front of you.
Oh yeah, if a rider withholds the services and stuff, you can only replace him with a National League rider. I've always found that rule a bit confusing, but
I think if I remember right, that it was the week they'd signed Eric Riss. They'd signed Eric Riss that week, and they knew that he had a commitment elsewhere. So, but because none of our riders could commit to another date, they had to run it on that specific day. So obviously they had to, but because of logistics, they had to get Ben Rathbone in at number one. And the worst bit about it was for Redcar is Eric Riss's Polish match that day got rained off.
Oh.
So definitely no sour grapes and certain Redcar fans there.
No, I can sort of see why having to settle for a National League rider especially when the meeting gets rained off, that makes it even worse.
Yeah, but there's no way that rider would have been able to get back from Poland, is there? Because sometimes they leave it like an hour before the meeting's due to start.
Yeah.
So he would have literally had an hour to get from wherever in Poland to Redcar to ride. It's just not going to happen, is it?
Yeah. Just need apparition to exist from Harry Potter. That'll solve everything.
Or your very own private, Chinook helicopter to throw your bikes in and fly over that way. Land in Centre Green at Redcar, offload.
That'd be an interesting scene, wouldn't it? There's a rider coming in they're parachuting out of a helicopter.
Yeah, military drop style, just kick the crate out of the back and the crate parachutes in.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
That would be an interesting sight.
It was awesome watching Ty and then parachute into his testimonial. Imagine what it'd be like seeing someone's equipment coming in as well.
You just see a bike with a parachute attached to it flying through the air, and you're like, shit, where's that going to land?
Well, I mean, it's not like we haven't had 2 air ambulances come to Scunny this year, so I'm sure we could arrange something.
Are they willing to let a rider parachute in? Although the blades on the top of a helicopter might tear up a parachute, so maybe not.
No, because you free fall, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, I've never skydived myself. That's a bit too daredevil-y for me.
I've been there, done that.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I did take up ice skating recently, though.
Oh,
Good
God.
idea.
I hope you got wrist support.
I went last night with some friends, and I took an absolute. I fell on my shoulder really bad, so I'm in a bit of pain today. My pride more than anything. My pride more than anything, because I got out skated by 2 kids half my age. So, although practice makes perfect.
Are you wearing the rented death wellies, or have you got your own blades?
Currently rented ones, because skates are expensive.
That'll be why you're nearly dying and getting out skated then, because you've got death wellies on.
The ones at the Snowdome are terrible. like the Snow Dome near mine, but the ones you can rent at the Sky Dome, if there's a skate session after the game, they're better.
Yeah.
Hang on. How are we talking about ice skating? This is a Speedway podcast.
Well, it's your fault. You brought it up.
Yeah, that's true. I'll edit it out.
I'll leave it. So,
Fair enough.
going on about National League. So, Workington have announced a full team, haven't they?
Yeah.
Who else? Because I've still seen nothing about the Colts.
Mildenhall have got 6 riders.
Mildenhall got 6, have they?
Alfie Botel, Lee Complin, Josh Warren.
Whoa.
What?
If you're going to say it, get it right. World champion standard guy, Lee Conklin.
Okay.
Mere age of 38, but he could beat Bartosz Smarslik around Newcastle.
Yeah, okay. I'll believe that if I ever see it. Oh, yeah. Who else they got? Josh Warren, Aaron Butcher. That's all I can name off the top of my head.
Yeah, that Workington team's looking a bit too tasty for my liking.
Well, they've taken like half the Colts team.
Exactly. Got the McGurk brothers. They've got
Are you
Connor Bailey.
available? Yeah.
Well, I've not been asked to ride for the Colts again. Oh,
To be fair, I think McGurk's leaving Bellevue, that was more of a thing when Workington signed Luke. Obviously, I work for Luke's dad, so you get to know a few bits. But because like McGurk's and Luke have been like that ever since they started riding. So if you could build a team with them three in it, you're going to have good team spirit as it is. So it's sensible, to be fair, for Workington.
No, I'm not disputing it. I'm saying though, there's literally gone, oh, look at the Bellevue Colts. They did it right last year. Can we take all of these, please?
Yeah.
They've just walked in and raided the Colts, haven't they?
Bellevue Colts has become the Wakey Wines of Speedway.
The what-y-what-ys.
Eh?
The what-y-what-ys.
Please don't. Are you on the old TikTok?
Yeah.
Right, have you heard of this shop called Wakey Wines that sell this fucking prime shite for about £7 billion a bottle?
Oh, is that them nutters that was sold a crate of 12 for 1,200 quid?
They're the fuckers. Basically,
yeah,
Bellevue Colts for them is Speedway.
Right. I'm with you now. I was like, what? Hey?
Apparently that's in massive demand, isn't it, at the minute? I don't see the appeal personally. My local shop sell it for like £10 a bottle. Like, you spend £10 on one bottle?
They're getting it for less than £1 a bottle, most places. Asda was selling it for £1 at one point. Aldi sell it for £2.
I managed to get a bottle from Aldi for £2.
Yeah.
Right. I don't get the hype. It's shite. Just fucking
it's because
have a beer or something.
Yeah.
It's because it's that Jake Paul and KSI. Or Logan, whichever one of the brothers it is, sorry.
Oh, look at me. I do YouTube videos. Let's bring out a drink and charge £1 billion a bottle.
Pretty much, mate.
Not that
which is why I want nothing to do with it. It's the sole reason I want nothing to do with it.
Can you imagine if we did that, though? And we called it Drop the Clutch Juice or something?
Oh, we should. Drop the Clutch Tonic.
Hints of real methanol.
Yeah.
It'd have to be a gin-based drink, then, wouldn't it, if it's got methanol?
Yeah.
Because they're not too dissimilar, really. Dan's gone quiet. He's thinking about it now, and he's like, ooh, I could do this.
Yeah, you put ideas in my head now, you bastards.
Oh, so anyway, completely off the Speedway topic. How was everyone's Christmas and New Year?
Pretty good.
Quiet. quiet with lots and lots of drink.
Mine was pretty much work.
That sounds like fun. Not.
That sounds better than mine, to be fair. I just was laying in my bed playing with myself most of it. Before getting dumped on New Year's Eve.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh well, Speedway season soon, isn't it? So you know.
Only another 2 months.
Yay!
Only Birmingham have the audacity to stick in a bloody fixture before the playoff weekend for the hockey, which I wasn't intending on going to at all.
Speaking of sticking in fixtures, Stevie Worrell's testimonial, by the way, guys.
That looks like it's going to be fucking epic.
We were discussing the other day on Discord, what if Richie Worrell did Bellevue versus Poole at the NSS? Like totally flipped it and had his own team. Like Stevie's captain of Poole, Richie's captain of Bellevue.
That would be something.
I think
That'd
that'd
be
be epic,
interesting.
obviously, with them being twins. It'd be rude not to, wouldn't it?
That makes sense. So we all know it's not going to happen.
No. Somebody said about donating funds to the Ben Fund, was it?
Think so.
I think Ruth saw it in the Speedway chat the other day. But yeah, it'd be epic to see that, wouldn't it? One brother riding for captain in Poole at Wimborne Road and then flip it over for the other one.
Yeah. That would be good.
I hope Paul decides to live stream it because, I, to be fair, of all the meetings that I do tend to buy, because I tend to buy some shite meetings, that would be one that it looks appealing just by the advert, doesn't it? You know,
It really
Champion
does.
of Champions. That's your selling point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd work the Bellevue leg if it happened, but I'd probably try and watch the Poole meeting.
Wait, hasn't one of them got ties to Leicester as well?
Richie.
You could get the NDL team involved as well because they're technically league champions in the National League as well, aren't they? Make it a 3-team thing.
Well, don't diss Leicester's National League team because they're going to do it again this year.
They've got a good team again. I agree.
They could end up walking away with 2 league titles this year.
Yeah.
Nah, they won't win the top league. Playoffs, yeah, but I think the bottom end, it obviously depends how Sedgy and Drake goes, and obviously how Dan Thompson rides, because obviously he's only doing National League and Premiership because
that's a big jump between both leagues.
Because nobody will take him in the Championship, which is a little bit silly, but hey ho.
He'll probably get a spot when like an injury happens somewhere or something.
But don't you have so many weeks into the season as well to make changes? Or
I think you're doing the Premiership. I don't think we do in the Championship, or at least if we do, I haven't heard of it.
Right, that's why I was asking, because I know the Premiership, you've got 25% before you can make a change, and then it's at 75%. There's no more changes.
But they got rid of that now, don't they?
Oh, of course I did, yeah, because of the whole
Robert Lambert thing.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what he called it. Shit, Lambert. I've got to say though, 3 maximums in 3 rides around the NSS.
Do you know what the worst bit about the playoff final last year was?
Getting beat at Sheffield.
Not quite. Obviously, we lost by 2 points, right? Overall on aggregate.
Yeah.
My Bay Spirit animal, Simon Lambert, scored 2 points. A broke heart.
Sheffield.
Do you know what the bit that annoyed me was?
We
lost 2 riders in the home leg. And we had to like continue on with what we had. We could have taken a much bigger lead to Sheffield had we not lost 2 riders.
Yeah. To be fair though, it like looking back at it now, like the build up of it was sort of perfect because like Bellevue hadn't really done great at Sheffield, and Sheffield hadn't really done great at Bellevue other than the League Cup. Yeah. So it was like that 12 points, like, because I stayed over at an hotel and I was just there, walking to the track and thinking, this is fucking doable, this.
Especially as Bellevue hadn't travelled well all season because we hadn't had a full season or like the full team away all season. Even to the Sweden playoff final, we still didn't have a full team.
But no, hey, look, obviously it was gutting to lose, but the better team over 2 legs won, and yeah, that's how it should be.
Yeah, like I said to you in the first ever episode, Speedway won. End of. Forget the teams involved. Speedway won.
Probably the best meeting. Like if there was a neutral there watching it on the telly, it was probably the best meeting you'll see at Sheffield in a while.
Yeah. And from what I've been told by people that travelled up to all of them, that 3rd and 4th Ben was absolutely electric.
Oh mate, well, at Sheffield you can't go on the 1st and 2nd bends over the back straight because health and safety are gay.
Right.
But like where we was in the home straight, and to be fair, all the way around from where we was to bends 3 and 4, dare I say the atmosphere itself was probably better than Cardiff.
Oh wow! Who said it?
But I think that's probably because there was a lot of noise being made.
It was
in a smaller sort of compacted area.
It was Simon that said it, wasn't it? That he's ridden in Poland, he's ridden here, there, and everywhere. But that night, that atmosphere from the fans in that corner was just unreal.
It was. Fair play to you guys for making that noise.
Well, fair play to everyone, because obviously the Sheffield lot would have made as much noise.
Yeah, we just weren't cool enough that we didn't have special flares and shit like that.
Yeah, that was a bit of a stupid move.
Yeah, I'm not going to condone that. Never will. Look cool, but yeah.
Talking as somebody who's been burnt by a flare in the past at a football match, it's not a smart move.
No, that's what I'm saying, though. It looked cool, but so does driving a Ford Mustang until you rack it up around 5 cars going in a straight line.
Exactly.
You know, we've all seen the videos, haven't we? These kids in the Mustangs put a little bit of acceleration on and whoop, 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 whoop.
Yes.
Yep.
Just my tuppence worth there, though. Look good, but no place for it is Speedway.
Yeah, I agree.
Leave it to them on the centre green to do all that stuff, where it's safe and controlled. And
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because when they did it at Bellevue, some guy had an asthma attack.
Wow.
Yeah, in the home meeting, there was that group of like 4 or 5 lads, weren't they? And they set off loads of them. And a guy had a full-blown asthma attack in the crowd.
Jesus.
Well, yeah, because they give off a lot of smoke because they're supposed to find you in an emergency. That's why they give off so much smoke. They're supposed to help find someone in an emergency, so that can't be good.
And if you go back and watch it, just watch that last 5 minutes or that last race, you see them all go off, and there's about 4 of them. Half the south stand disappears under a red mist.
That's literally like they should. I think that in hindsight, they probably should have been banned for that.
I think they have been.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
But don't quote me on that, because I don't actually know. But I think they've either had stern words or they've been banned.
Fair enough. Look at the time, it's 5 to 8. Should we wrap up?
I've already got my coat on.
I'm from up to north, so we're used to it cold.
I'm used to the
Not that much
cold.
further up north for me.
I'm still disappointed that you called Scunny cold. That, yeah.
No, out of all the places I've been, that's actually the coldest I've ever been. No, I take that back. King's Lynn.
Norway for me.
Workington.
I never
That's
got to go
cold.
to the old Workington.
Went there once. It was middle of August. I had never been so cold in my entire life.
Wow, really? In the middle of August?
And this was like middle of August, so like peak summertime. Everywhere else, fucking 25, 30 degrees. Workington, minus 13.
It's Cumbria though, isn't it?
Well, yeah.
What were you literally on top of the cell?
Look, it felt like it.
Wow.
Yeah. Should we wrap this up then? Because it's been nearly an hour. So
Yeah.
thanks for tuning in, everyone. It's a bye from me, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Yep. In a bit, guys. Catch you later.
Very good night.